Hey guys, welcome. You guys are tuned in to the Cosmochoria Friday broadcast. I'm going to try and treat this a little bit more structured as time goes on, as I get a little bit better at doing this live stream type stuff. And in this particular instance, I'm going to keep the iTunes playlist on just because it's easier to control the volume, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to play a little Cosmochoria to start, and I might get into working on some art for the game or other stuff like that. Pop2478's asking me if I've added anything to the current build. Unfortunately, not yet. There's some stuff that I'm working on, but that won't be in this version. I'm just gonna hang out and play. You know, let's get right down with it. I don't know why I can't turn the music off in this instance, but it should be okay. Would you like to see the new guns? Have you seen them, Pop? I could definitely show off some of these alternate guns. I can't remember if you were in the chat when I was giving people the codes to actually... Oh, cool. So yeah, let's check that out. So there are a couple alternate guns that we can use. The first one is the shotgun. That operates a little like this. Basically, it's like a single shot blast. Like, you can't hold your mouse button down, and okay. Yeah, that link, the link that I provided to download the latest build, if you've got that from either the Kickstarter campaign or through email or something like that, that link is usually updated with whatever's most recent. So you could usually download the same link again, and it'll be the latest version. So you can just codes. It's just some developer stuff I've got. Once you're in the developer mode, you can do stuff like hit the plus key on your keyboard, and that will upgrade your gun. You start off with the simple shooter, but then as you're hitting plus, you're upgrading the gun to the upgraded shooter. You're basically giving yourself like one of the gun upgrade collection things that you can get. And once you get past, it stays at this red laser gun for a while, but then once you get past the 10th gun, you'll actually see some of the other guns that are in there. So right now we've got this shotgun. It's pretty good, deals a lot of damage, has a nice spread to it, but it's not an automatic weapon, so you gotta hit the mouse trigger every time you want to shoot. And the problem with the early version, if you don't have any upgrades for the shotgun yet, is it has like the early version of it has like a long delay, basically like a reload time before you can let loose the next shot. So, but then as you find the weapon upgrades for it, this is how fast it would get. So this I'm clicking the mouse as fast as I can, and then it would upgrade, and then it would get a little bit faster, and then it would upgrade and get a little bit faster, and then that would basically be your like maximum. Nice, yes. So this would be your most upgraded shotgun. Super effective on everything. Like the little robots that show up. Those things. Robots are usually a pain in the ass. They take a bunch of shots, but just one blast of the shotgun should take them out. So many bullets hitting it at once. So yeah, that's the shotgun. We've also got, once you get into the 20s, I got this little line of code, not code, of like developer information. Shows me like my frames per second, CPU usage, which planet like each planet has an ID number, so it's showing me what planet ID it's on, how big the planet is, all that kind of stuff. But one of the variables that it shows on there is the gun level, like the number that's associated to the gun that I have. And so as I'm upgrading with the plus button, or the plus key, I'm actually seeing that number increase or decrease with the minus key. So once it hits 20, now I'm into the laser rifle mode, which is basically like a single shot. It's basically like a single shot laser rifle. Super high powered, so it does a lot of damage. But again, it's a single shot, so it's not an automatic weapon like the first weapon you kind of start with, where you can just hold the button down. So you just get a single shot off. And I'm just going to quickly post a link to the downloadable version for anyone who's watching the stream and wants to play along. Blam. Okay, so then we've got this single shot weapon. Does a lot of damage, has a little bit of a long reload, but then as you start finding the upgrades for it, it's sort of the same as a shotgun, where this is as fast as you'll be able to shoot, but it's actually a lot of fun to just use the single shot weapon because of how much damage it does. You're pretty much one-shotting everything you see, and it's fun to kind of get your aim right. So, you're killing things in a single shot. It's fun to just, make sure you're actually hitting them with that single shot. And especially if you're using this weapon as your sort of like your primary weapon, you get better at it. And it's really effective against bosses because... Sweet, yeah, and one update that I'm going to have for this the laser rifle, is that it will be penetrating. So if you've got like 3 UFOs in a row and you shoot at them, that bullet will basically pierce through all 3 of those UFOs and take them all out. So that's the other benefit of having this weapon. It won't actually destroy the bullet as it travels through enemies. But the reason I don't have them in the current build, and you kind of have to get at them through these shitty like dev hacks, is just because they're not really balanced properly. I'm finding that when you first have the laser rifle, it's a little bit too weak. Not necessarily weak, but it actually takes too long to reload, so it's not very fun to use because you're basically waiting for, you're getting swarmed by stuff and that kind of thing. So I need to figure out the balancing and make sure that even the early versions are fun. Early version, like the unupgraded versions of the gun, are fun to use. But then also, that they're not too strong once you start upgrading them. Also, so yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the default gun right now. Can you guys hear me okay over the music, or is the music too loud? Would you prefer the music to be down a bit, or to me to talk louder? Yeah, you need to be in. You do need to be in dev mode first, so you can do that. I usually just hit Control D on the keyboard, and that'll put you in dev mode. And then once you're in dev mode, you'll know if you're in dev mode if you hit Enter. It'll bring up that little line of text at the bottom. If you're not in dev mode, that won't work. It won't bring up the text. So I'm actually going to get out of dev mode now. Yeah, I can definitely make the music lower. Let's drop it down by about half so it's more chill. Nice. So yeah, there's a bunch of, I mean, if you're messing around in dev mode... Yeah, word. Okay, so if you're messing around in dev mode, there's some other stuff that you can do. If you hold the shift key down and then hit the number 1 on your keyboard, you'll see that you get a bunch of seeds added to your... I don't know what you mean about cheating in the upgrades, Pop. Let me know what you mean by that. I can't wait till I got like a bunch of plants, a bunch of plant types. Oh, okay, so what you want to do if you want to try the different guns, hit enter first, so you're in dev mode, hit enter so you can see that line of text, and then near the end of the line of text you should see an entry for gun, and it should be like 0 or 1 or something like that, 1 or 2 or something. Let me know if you see that, and then I'll continue on with my cheat tutorial. This will completely ruin the game for you, so I highly recommend it. Just completely take all the fun out of it. The full game won't have dev mode, trust me. Or it'll be a crazy, like, convoluted Konami code or something. Okay, so yeah, if you're in dev mode, if you're seeing that line of text and you see your gun hitting plus and minus on the number pad, so on the right hand side of the keyboard, hit the plus and the minus, and that will upgrade and downgrade your gun. You're not going to see it change to a different style until it hits 10 or 20, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be different versions of the base gun. And then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 will be different versions of the shotgun. And then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 will be different versions of the laser rifle. Okay, sweet. Other cheats, if you want seeds, you can hold shift and push the number 1 on your keyboard. So that will give you some 100 seeds, I think. So you don't, in case you run out of seeds as you're traveling around or whatever. Oh, the best cheat in the game. You want to hold shift and then press, while you're holding shift, press the F key, and that will. It's a bit of a secret surprise, I guess, for you. So you can see what that does. I'll just wait and see your response for that cheat code there. Yeah, you hold shift and press F and you'll spawn the fire dragon, like right, breathing down your butt crack. You can use F, you can use, I think, G, no, not G, sorry. Nice. Well, yeah, you probably have like the mega upgraded guns, eh? You can hold shift and hit R, and that'll spawn an asteroid right next to you. This is just for testing. You can hold shift and press, yeah, what does G do? Ice Dragon. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do probably in the next build is make sure that when you're in dev mode, a bit like Vegas, what happens in dev mode will stay in dev mode, so your score won't count up as long as you hit that dev mode, or it won't save your score when you're done. or it won't save the crystals that you earned as well. Just because, you know, just to make it so it's a little more fair. Because you could, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's the development version, but you know, it just seems right. The whole top row, pretty much like RT, Y, U, I, and O, will spawn essentially the enemies that I've got built so far. So I will be the robot, U will be the UFO, Y will be the aliens that land on the planet. T is the first dragon. O is those little crawlers that come onto the planet. Huge pain in the ass. And yeah, you can kind of just sort of see what's kind of there in the game and just fool around with it a bit. These are just codes that I kind of have for myself, so I don't actually have to work my way up to getting to the dragon to see if there's any bugs with them and stuff like that. So I can just spawn one and fight him and see, you know, make sure everything's working properly. If you want to, let's see, if you want to add more completed planets without actually completing any planets, you can hit the divide key, like the slash key on your keyboard, on the number pad. Hey, Voldfox, thanks so much, man. Thanks for everything. And yeah, really good news about the pets. I think the coolest thing is that they'll be, I think they'll play an integral role in how the game feels. So that was sort of my decision to, you know, say screw it to the stretch goal and actually just figure out a way to get them in there. I mean, if I have to sell my body to pay my bills while I work on it, I'll do what I need to do. Shift 1 adds seeds, like I was saying, but Shift 2 adds bases. It'll add 10 bases to your stock, and Shift 3 will add ultranovas, so the bombs. Yeah, the ultra-dimensional turtle. I don't know if he's gonna be ultra-dimensional. I don't know if I'm technically capable of creating an ultra-dimensional turtle. Something a little bit more manageable, like a shield or something like that might be more along my speed. Having like, oh sweet, Voldfox, yeah, like I'll teleportation turtle. See, that's the other thing too, is there's a possibility of having some additional moves, so you could do like a dash teleport kind of thing to kind of get out of the way of bullets or enemies. Quickly kind of just jump to a different spot. So that might be a power that he gives you. Teleports you right into the sun every single time. And Voldfox, yeah, if you want to, yeah, I guess just keep in touch. If you want to hit me up on Twitter at Mantrakid, MANTRAKID. If you hit me up on Twitter and we're in touch, you know, I can make sure that you at least get the current version of the game, you know, like basically like the demo version that is going out right now while I'm working on the development version, just so you're not waiting with nothing. So this is Shash Pant. I was messing around with the development. Yeah, like this purple gun is the first upgrade that you can get. I was messing around with the development codes and stuff that I have for myself, just to test the different guns, and I was showing these guys what the different guns can do. So yeah, like this, that's the first. This is the first gun upgrade you can get. This is the one that you actually buy in the store, and it takes you from like this single shot to this double shot. But then as you're playing, you'll fight you'll fight UFOs, and occasionally you'll see like a shiny, like a UFO that's like flashing. If you fight a UFO that's flashing and kill it, he'll drop a weapon upgrade thing, and if you pick it up, then it'll upgrade your gun to the next level, so it'll be like this. You get a wider spread on it, the bullets do a little bit more damage, shoots a little bit faster, like frequency. And then if you find another flashing one, you keep this gun. If you get hit while you have an upgrade, if I get hit by an enemy, I'll lose that upgrade. So I'll go back to the first level. This is the first level of the I guess, like the first gun you could buy. Like the laser gun, I guess, what would you call it? So if I hit an enemy, I'd lose my upgrade. So I'd have to find another flashing UFO and upgrade it again. And then you'd end up with this. So I technically don't want to get hit by enemies. Getting hit by bullets is okay. It doesn't lose my upgrades if I get hit by a bullet. But if I actually smash into an enemy, I'd lose the upgrade. And if I found another upgrade, then it would look like this. So faster stream of bullets. The bullets do a little bit more damage, and they're in a tighter spread, so it's not so random. If you look back at this one, sort of a wider spread, slower bullets. But then this one's a little bit tighter and a little bit faster, so it does a lot more damage. Sweet, sounds good. And then the final upgrade that you can get for that first gun is this one. So way faster bullets, stronger, tighter spread. And then, you know, this is the one that you kind of want to have, so you kind of don't want to get hit. It's kind of like the old, like, 1942 style, like, top-down shooters where you get your gun upgrades, but if you die, you lose them. So you kind of want to, you know, continue to get upgrades to build them up so that you have this super powerful gun, and then you're harder to kill, easier to kill things, but at the same time, you got more to lose if you actually get careless with it and start flying around and getting hit by things. And then the final game will have additional weapon types that you can get as well, so like shotguns and laser rifles and stuff. Yeah, the UFOs. No, I mean, every time you start a new game, you'll start with the level 1 of that first gun upgrade. So this is what you start the game with. Like when you buy or download the game for the first time, you have this single shotgun. Once I save up 100 crystals, I can go to the store and buy this. I can buy this gun. And now that I have this gun, this is what I start the game with every single time. So this is kind of like this becomes your new default weapon. I can't go lower than this anymore once I buy it. But now every game I start with this gun, but then as I kill the UFOs, I can upgrade it to the more powerful versions of that gun. And that'll be the same for the shotgun and the laser rifle. I'd start with the shotgun. If I bought it in the store, I'd start with the shotgun, and then this would be my default weapon when I start the game. So I'm shooting like this, and then as I kill the UFOs, I get an upgrade version of the shotgun, does more damage, has better spread, and then I can upgrade it to the maximum, the red version, where it like just destroys everything it touches. And but if I died and started the game over, if shotgun was my weapon, I would go back to the default purple plain shotgun with a slow reload and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of have, like, you can buy an upgraded gun or buy a gun type in the store, but the upgrades would all come as like drops in the game. Void Fox is asking me, did I say Vold Fox before? The font was blending. Void Fox was asking me if Void Fox is asking me if Cosmochoria is randomly generated, and pretty much, yeah, like every time you play, the planet sizes, placement, planet types, item placement, bonus placement, like there's, you know, you can collect bases, and there'll be artifacts and stuff that you can find. All that stuff will be randomly generated every time. And then there will be a special mode of the game. Thanks to the Kickstarter, there will be an endless mode that has more of like a roguelike feel to it, because of roguelike just in the way that there's no real end to the game. you would ultimately just keep playing to see how far you could get and how high of a score you can get. And as you're playing, you would actually find stuff like the shotgun. You'd start off every game with the basic gun, and then as you're playing, you would find drops like weapon drops and just like loot and stuff that would boost your character. So ideally you would want to just stay alive as long as you can, find cooler stuff to stay alive longer, and then once you die, that would be it. You'd lose it all, and you wouldn't even really keep the coins that you earned or anything like that. Yeah, to be honest, when I first started the game, Shashpant was asking me about save files, being able to save your game to keep your progress. And I think when I first started working on the game, I wanted it to be like an arcade game feel, where you didn't have to save your game because the games wouldn't last very long. Like, you'd die, but I realized as you start getting good at it, the games do take a while, and you can actually, you'd be 40 minutes in and gotta go for lunch or something like that, and you got nothing else to do but to pause it and come back later. So I will be thinking of some sort of save your progress situation, just because no, the slash cheat should work. No, getting back to the save file, yeah, I definitely want to think about that a little bit more, and figure out the best way to go about it. I think just having like a simple continue game or start new game, and again, because there'll be different modes, there'll be like a story mode, which I think you'll essentially need to have like a save file for. But then there will also be the endless mode, which would not have a save file. You would just you'd play, and if you die, you die. But again, even then, maybe not. I might figure out that there's a benefit to having it saved. So I think as I'm playing the game a lot too, yeah, like a quick save type thing where you just pick up exactly where you left off, and if you start a new game, it overwrites it, and you lose your spot. But I'll figure out the best way to do it, because as I'm playing it, I want to make it, I play a lot of video games too, and I know what can be annoying, and that's definitely something that I think would help make the game more fun and make it more easy to get into. When you know that you can play it for 40 minutes and not lose everything that you earned, and you can just save it and come back later to keep kicking ass. Yeah, see, this gun is like cool, but it spreads too much. Okay, it's just plain. Huge props to Pop2478 kicking the mothership's brainy butt. It's hard. There was a version of the game that actually, for the demo, for the Kickstarter campaign and everything, I made a version of the game that you couldn't kill the mothership. Let me just read this thing here. When I was playing the alpha, this is Shashpad is telling me. Yeah, the mothership. Let me get through that. The mothership. The enemies that it spawns have a higher percentage chance of dropping weapon upgrades. So the mothership is constantly dropping UFOs, these guys, but the UFOs that it drops actually have, like a way higher percentage of actually holding a weapon upgrade when you kill them. So it gives you a good chance to upgrade while you're fighting her. Now, Shashpant is saying, when I was playing the alpha, got over 100,000, now I have no progress, so kind of bad. Yeah, that's a huge... Sorry. It's just a demo. I'm gonna make that... the game will be better once it's done. Other than there's a red area. Let's see what this is saying here. Other than that, I noticed when you have straight far to the left or right, there's a red area, which is, I guess, reminiscent of the sun. Yeah, I'm blown away at how many people liken it to a star or a sun or something like that. It makes perfect sense. And you know, you're flying around in space and you've got these planets, and all of a sudden you see heat, and really it's red. You associate it to heat. So I'm in the heat, and now that I've got the skull up, I'm basically deep in the heat. I'm losing. If I had dev mode off, I'd be losing energy. So if you watch my energy, it's actually dropping slowly. So if I hang out in here for a long time, it drops slowly. The funny thing is, you can keep going and you know, go deep as you can into the sun. But really, from a technical standpoint, it's the edge of the map. It's just a way for me to show that you're on the edge of the map. Originally I had it so that you would instantly die. You would instantly die as soon as you touched the edge of the map. So as soon as I got deep into this red, I would just instantly die. People did not like that. I had the Steam version, like the Steam dev group. People were playing the game, and general thing was people said it was too hard. You're losing control of the jetpack, and we're basically flying into the red and dying too often, which is fine. And you know, I thought I was basically trying to see if it would help by having it not kill you instantly, but just wear you down. But basically, what happens is you just warp to the other side of the map. You wrap to the top. So if I'm at the bottom of this map and I get to the edge, I would wrap to the top. So then I come out at the top of the map, and it's a lot easier to see actually when you. Oh shit! It's a lot easier to see when you actually have the map upgrade. If I have the map upgrade purchased, and then I go into the game. Now when I have my map upgrade up, this is my map in the lower right of the screen. And you can see there's, I don't know how good the quality is, but you should be able to see there's a bunch of red dots. Those are the planets that are scattered throughout the galaxy. As I plant on them and finish them, so basically each planet requires a number of plants. So there's no, as I'm planting this, I'm just going to tell Pop, there's no Easter eggs really in the current build. There's some stuff that's in the version that you basically can't access right now by way of even cheat codes or anything like that. But the first development build that I'm going to put out will have some of that stuff, like the artifacts and stuff that you can find, stuff that you can pick up and carry around, and you can bring to the old man, and he'll give you some information or, you know, tell you something, which will be a lot of the primary aspect of the game. Will be picking things up and bringing them to other planets, and either combining things together or bringing it to the old man, and he'll give you something else. Things that you can pick up that give you a special power while you're holding it. So maybe your jetpack will not run out of fuel as you're holding this like fusion reactor or something like that. So there's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff added in, and I'm working on it right now. It's just not in. There's no way to kind of get at it in this version. And okay, so what I was talking about with the map, as you plant plants, and as you finish this planet by filling it up with plants, the icon for it. Oh shit! Yeah, my video. Let me pop off my webcam. Tell me if that helps. I kind of do want to explain some of this map, because the map's, it's cool to see it. So the map's showing you basically the whole galaxy, and all the planets as you finish a planet, so as you plant enough plants on it, it'll turn green on the map to show you that you've actually finished that planet. And that'll become key later, because one of the main points is to actually reseed all the planets in the galaxy, so to actually have a reference that you can look back at. Yeah, exactly. I should have had you don't need to see my face anyway.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yo, shouts out to Alex. My huggy bear. So I'm hoping this next plant is going to finish this planet off, and that should show you what it looks like. But yeah, you can see right here on the mini map, the edge of the map is basically where it would be a red zone and where it would warp you to the other side. And then now you can see that I just finished this planet. If you look on the map, you got this one green planet right there. So the goal then would be to get them all green. And then as I'm warping, or as I'm jetting through space, hitting the edge of the map, I'm just going to pop out at the bottom now. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah, you can actually disable the map just by pushing the little compass. I could definitely map the key, the M key, to do the exact same thing. So, I can definitely do that. But yeah, if you hit the compass, it'll hide the map. So it's not, so it's out of the way. Because yeah, it's definitely, if you're in the middle of planting and fighting battles or a boss battle or something like that, you don't want to have the map covering everything up. Yeah, I think a lot of the work that was done on the game to this point was kind of just getting it so that all these core mechanics were ready, and people could actually see what the basis of the game will be. But I think a lot of the cool stuff is still to come. Like, I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that this aspect of the game was fun. But I think now if I start adding in the story and stuff like that, it's gonna be like next level. I hope. Totally ruin it. What did you do to the game, Nate? I guess it helps that I like playing it. I referred to those shirts. Shashpant was asking me if the shirts that were on the Kickstarter page would be available at a later date. I can't. I referred to the shirts as Kickstarter exclusive. I guess it's kind of, I could always just get an extra one made for you, and then you could just pay me when you can, right? And if you can't get the money, I can just, yeah, we'll talk, because you're a backer, so it's not like, I think I'm not going to be selling the shirts to the public, so that's basically, those shirts are those shirts. There will be other designs for sure, but those specific shirts were made for Kickstarter backers. But at the same time, if you're a backer and you pledged for the game and you just didn't have enough for the shirts, yeah, send me a message or an email. Hit me up on, maybe send me an email, Nate, N-A-T-E, at 3030.ca, Nate at 3030.ca, and just so I've got your contact info, and we'll figure it out. If you backed your Kickstarter backers, so yeah, you should be able to get the backer shirt, I think. That seems like a decent way to do it. Matoshi no Kami, hopefully. The font is hard to read. Will there be temporary buffs for each certain planets, like power, speed, evasion, other than healing? Might help us to be more strategic in a wide open map. That is a good question. I think it's not going to be the planets that have the buffs like that. But there's going to be, I think there's going to be effects. Oh, look at that. What a wonderful delight. There's going to be effects of having having pets on planets. Pets will give you a benefit, but pets will also give a benefit to the planet that it's on. So if you have a pet, you can basically let it reside on a planet, and by it being on that planet, it gives that planet a different effect. Like it would refuel your jetpack really fast, or it would make your jump where you're running a little bit faster, so you can move better. And I thought about having variations to the planets, and it's definitely not something I'm ruling out. Right now, probably the only real varied thing is that bigger planets have bigger health tanks, so bigger planets can heal you a lot more than smaller planets can. Oh, Pop, if you wanted to do the cartoon me tier, yeah, I would say just PayPal the $30, and then we just treat it as like it's not even really a Kickstarter thing at that point. It's just you're paying me $30 to do a cartoon version of you. If that works for you, that's definitely the easiest way to do it. If you're down. And same thing, just hit me up on email. 30, and then we can figure it out. And it doesn't have to be you too. If you're doing the cartoon me thing, basically I'd be illustrating. Yeah, right. I keep forgetting. Sorry. Silly name. Hit me up on Skype. And it doesn't have to be you, or it could be like a variation of you. Also, like if you wanted to be wearing a certain costume, or if you wanted to have cat ears or something like that. Yeah, and Shashpant, like there's gonna be basically like variations of the design. Like there'll be another design that looks essentially similar, but it's different enough that the original design, it'll be noticeable that it's like unique to the one that's for sale on the site. So I'll be getting that. Wow, I really stacked this planet. I just kind of mesmerized in the planting process. Yeah, there'll be shirts. There'll be tons of good stuff. Right now, my focus is just to make sure that all the Kickstarter stuff can get made and sent out, and then obviously make sure that the game is going well. But yeah, as I start doing if I start hitting up like trade shows and stuff like that, like GDC or PAX and stuff like that, then I would definitely want to have some merch.
Yeah, Simon, I'm talking to you. This motherfucker.
Okay, I don't know if we're gonna listen to Dr. Doom right now.
You got a lot of motherfuckers coming up on your show. And you try to
Maybe a
act
little
like
too
you
heavy for
motherfuckers
this.
judging every fucking body.
For
You ain't no
Cosmochoria.
motherfucking body. Fuck American Idol, Simon and his whack ass. He can kiss the bottom of my foot and Paula can kiss my black ass. That show is for a no pro, it's for a jackass. I piss on the ratings with a scuba diving tank with a German mass. The type of guy to defecate on jazz and bluegrass.
Sorry, Cool Keith. I'm just gonna switch the music here for a second.
You leave with a blue ass. I'm that insurance guy that come with a tow truck when your Maybach crash. These microphone niggas with big budgets is trash. Lassie type niggas who don't bark back, they sneak bite niggas. I'm ready for combat with poison down on the floor. You come up and test my shit like a rat. You pick a spot.
Alright. Are we closer to hitting the lava water levels? Not terribly. There hasn't really been a lot of, there hasn't been a ton of action since the campaign ended. There have been a few, you know, sort of small upgrades to pledges to go from normal to, like, the normal tier to the dev tier and stuff like that. But there hasn't been anything crazy that's pushing it to that point. That being said, you know, I can't rule out the possibilities. Like, things may go super smooth with, you know, it really just comes down to how much time I spend on the game and how quickly I can get this other stuff done. Like, you know, the pets may take a lot less time to implement than I thought it would, and you know, it really comes down to the Kickstarter money. It's development money. Like, if something takes less time to develop, it essentially takes less cost to develop, and I think you know, that kind of stuff could still work itself into the game. I think the biggest question mark at this point is not fully knowing how much time that Wii U port is going to take, and the fact that we hit that stretch goal and that's a priority and people are waiting for the Wii U stuff. I can't really get to the terrain types and stuff until that other stuff is done in the game and the Wii U port is ready to go and all that kind of stuff. But you know, once it's on Wii U and it's been out on Steam for 6 months and I've been still working on the game and doing updates, like, it'll just be a free update that I add to the game. And you know, especially if there's sales for the game, like if the game's actually selling and you know, I'm actually earning money from it and I can work on it more, then yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding cool stuff to the game until it's, you know, super awesome. And Pop, you can yeah, you can change. You basically would just pay, yeah, exactly, you would just pay the extra, what is it, $15, and then that would bump you up to the $40 tier, and that would give you early access. So yeah, that's entirely a possibility. I couldn't remember if you're at the $25 or the $9 tier. Yeah, if you want to do that, absolutely. That's that works for me. This is such a perfect song for this. Hold on.
Let's go out and drive around all night. Going to when I'm born again. No one can keep up, my friend. I got no money, but I got some plans. I'm gonna walk right through this land. I can sell my golden teeth, buy a boat and sail the seas. You can buy my autograph, it's right there on the internet.
just wanted to enjoy that. Oh, good question. What's the difference between the Seeds EP and the full soundtrack? No, the EP is basically like a sample. It's gonna be like a 4 or 5, possibly 6 track. I'm not sure what they're doing in the final soundtrack or final track listing, but it's gonna be like a sampling of the full soundtrack. The full soundtrack's gonna be huge. It's gonna be like, I think like an hour and a half, possibly like 2 hours worth of music, both by them and by me. Yeah, this song is fucking so good. Factor featuring Nomad. So the full soundtrack is massive. The full soundtrack isn't going to be done until the game's done. You know, they're going to be working on music the whole time. I'm going to be working on the game, so there's going to be a lot of stuff developed for bosses and certain scenarios of the game and all that kind of stuff. So the Seeds EP was something kind of just to give people a taste of the soundtrack. It's going to be about a half hour's worth of music. It'll be like a lot of the songs that are in the game right now. Kind of just pick the cream of the songs. So here, let me just quickly do that song. We're currently listening to Factor's album. Factor's a dude out of Saskatoon. He did this album, I think it was like in 2008, maybe, called Chandelier, and that song was called Home Again, featuring Nomad. Nomad, I think he's a European rapper / vocalist. Yeah, Factor's the illest. I think I'm gonna work a bit. Anyone? You guys want to see? I guess I had some sketches of what I was doing with the pets in the Kickstarter update. I had this little dragon guy that would follow you around and shoot fireballs at enemies. So he's kind of cool. Oh yeah, so the track was Factor. Again, featuring Nomad. Yeah, you can, so this is to Pop ask if he wants to up his pledge, now that the campaign's done. Really, the best thing would be if you could PayPal it, because right now, it's not even a huge deal. Right now, if you use the pre-order thing on the site, it goes through Humble Bundle, and they take a cut, and then PayPal takes a cut. So yeah, if you PayPal'd it directly, then it would just be PayPal's cut. So it just means, I see more of it. Either way, whatever's most convenient for you, though. So, I think the Humble Bundle, their cut would be, I think they get like 50 cents or 60 cents from the transaction. So it's worth it to go through there if that's easy for you.
My craft through dedication. We all have infinite potential. Just wait till the fucking power goes out. And take it off those clothes. It doesn't make you woman.
So far, Atoshi, word, Pop, thank you. That's, if it's easy for you to send directly, that I definitely appreciate that, and it helps me out too. that's 50 more cents. That's like that's like a portion of a can of tuna that I can eat for lunch as I'm working on the game. And Toshi, you're asking me if pets can evolve. I didn't really have it in mind. So it's a possibility down the line, but probably not for the original or the final release, the initial release of the game. It just might be a lot of work to add in that extra functionality, but it would be cool. It's been really hard to kind of decide what's I want to do so much for the game. But it's been really hard to kind of hold myself back because it adds an extra month worth of work. 50 cents is like 2 gumballs. Exactly. But it's 2 gumballs. It's 2 gumballs. I mean, Kickstarter's percent was fairly big. Well, I mean, maybe not. For the service that they provide and like the community that you have access to, I guess it's definitely a worthy cost. Same with Humble Bundle. For what they're doing, I mean, I don't want to take money out of their pockets either because they're providing a service as well, and it's just, we're all trying to live, right? Yeah, man, like, totally, sequel. There's lots of stuff that I want to add to the game, and, if it makes sense, like, I'm going to be doing, if the game is selling well, and it's worth it for me to continue working on it and adding, sort of like a Minecraft model where it's, it's in alpha for a while, but then, it's for sale, but there's still updates to the game that improve it, and if there's ways that I can keep the interest going in the game, I will definitely be doing that. And I think it's a very smart business model, especially when it's not the people who've paid for the game already get those updates for free. It's not like a download content or anything like that. I don't really believe in download or DLC in general. I realize it's kind of like the way things have gone and the way things, maybe it's naive to think that you can do it without, you can run a successful studio without doing that, but I don't know, I think you can, and just by way of other people doing it. Yeah, Pop will work for me. He'll work for me for free until I actually have money to pay him, and then I'll be able to pay him back that 50 cents. It'll all be uphill. I'm basically kind of going by, for a studio name, I'm going by 3030. It's not 100%, I've kind of been relying more on my name to a large degree, but 3030, it may end up being, 3030 may end up being what I fully go with. That's kind of, I put it on press releases and stuff like that, so maybe it's too late and I do have to go with that now. So I don't know, I'm like a really bad business person. I'm doing a lot of stuff just sort of by the seat of my pants, not really planning and strategizing in a business sense. So maybe that's dumb, but I don't really care. Like, if I have, if there's a good game and it's fun, then all that stuff doesn't really matter. Until I have like another game coming out, then it will be probably more important to, I don't know, maybe it is important now. I'm just mumbling and rambling and I truly don't know what I'm doing or what I'm talking about. How's that? This guy's awesome. He's just gonna hang out with you and shoot fireballs at anything that gets near you. He's gonna be like a moving. He's just gonna be like a mobile turret. Yeah, I do. I definitely think DLC is. It's clear what the interests are. I mean, as soon as you start doing DLC, it's like a money making thing. I think it's easy for me to say because it's not like I have millions of people who have bought my game. I think if you've sold millions of copies of your game and you start adding content to it, though, it's not like you're gonna sell another million copies. So maybe it makes a lot more sense to do DLC in that case, because then it's a way to make a little bit more money off the game without making an entirely new game. You're making new content for it, and I think that's where it kind of comes into play. Is when you've sold so many copies of the game that you're not selling anymore, and by doing DLC, you've already maximized your market. Like, people who were going to buy the game already have the game. So if you have free DLC, you're just giving it away for free. You're not selling the game to anyone else because of that DLC. In my situation, I don't have millions of people buying the game. So say 1,000 Kickstarter backers have the game. If I do free, like a free update, like DLC that's included, doesn't cost anything, the people who bought the game already appreciate that. The people who haven't bought the game now have another reason to buy the game. So it's like free advertising, and a way to kind of get them to make the game more appealing and make them buy it. So I think for a smaller studio, or like a solo indie guy like me, where the game isn't popular yet, it would work better to have free updates. So I don't know. Shashpan asks me if I'm planning on using Unity in the future. I absolutely, yes. It's something that I want to learn. I think it'll just give me more options in the types of games I can make. Right now I'm working in Construct 2, which is cool, and it's really good for 2D games, but you're limited to that realm. And this guy looks awesome. Yeah, fan increase. That's totally what I'm talking about. Until you have 1 million people who have the game, I don't think you should be making decisions based on money. You should be making decisions based on loyalty and respect for the people who are taking a chance on someone who has to prove themselves, which would be me. I'm in no position to ask for more money. I'm involved in a silly show of brawn, brute strength. Y'all ain't got a clue of my brute but yeah, I definitely want to learn Unity. I played with it a bit. I haven't done anything serious in it, but I think I half wish that I had been building Cosmochoria in Unity to begin with. Probably more than half wish it. I just think there's a lot of potential for more complicated stuff, which is good. But it's good too, because I'm working in Construct 2, and it's helpful to have limitations on, it's helpful to have limitations because it lets me think outside the box and come up with, solutions, as opposed to having infinite possibilities and getting writer's block or something like that, not knowing what to do with them. I don't know, it's almost easier to think within the box and try and make sure that something Cosmochoria. What was that other one? I can't wait to work on more games. Like, it's just the funnest. This is just the funnest thing, like, ever. Like, just even doing this, like, just doing a guy. This is just the funnest thing. Like, how could you not want to do this as a job? How could I not want to do this? Yeah, Cosmochoria. But yeah, I totally agree, Shashpan. Like, it's the kind of thing where, yeah, like, if the content is done, like, if it's completed, like that whole Capcom thing with the, I don't know, was it Street Fighter or something like that, where they had, you buy the disc, and the content is complete, and it's on the disc, but it's locked, and you can't access it until you, and they may not even have the code, or, you know, any way to actually purchase it until 3 months down the line when they actually finally release the DLC, and all it's doing is installing the content that was already on the disc that you bought in the first place. It just seems like really, like, it's done. Could you not have come up with a price for that? You know, it's, I don't know, it's just whack. It's just fucking whack. I don't agree with things that are based on just getting a profit at no, you know, no matter what the cost. There's no respect to the people that are actually giving you money in the first place. That's the thing. It's like, it's just raping somebody. It's just like fucking them over, and they're the ones that got you there in the first place. They're the ones that have given you the money for the game in the first place, and then you just like take advantage of that. It's just whack. Stupid. Sweet, thanks. Yeah, this guy's, I love this guy. I totally I want him on like a shirt now or something. He's just so wicked.
What it is, .x fact. Rolling through like a tractor. This ain't no acting, yo, it's real. That time of year.
Yeah, you guys are seeing like why I decided to go with vectors in the first place, which is the fact that I can take his arm from the version that I just did and reuse that exact same arm, just reposition it. Like I say, it has saved me so much time. And then even if I want to animate him or whatever, you know, all I gotta do is just create another frame, tweak it slightly, not having to redraw anything, tweak his tongue. It's so much easier to mess around with. I should do that. I should do it so you can actually, when you find them, you can name them. Drago, awesome. I like it. Oh, Factor. Hey, I could probably hook you up with. He's on a label called Fake 4. I'm gonna give you a direct link to Factor here. He's like not necessarily a homie. Like, I know him. I've done like shows with him and stuff. But
That's right. What you call me? What you call me? What you call me? Get down, put a delay on the mix. Oh, you gotta know, dog, can it learn new tricks? It's a folk record that's been tripping off and
so
on.
Fig 4 Inc. is his label. It's his record label. Here's Factors page. I think this was his first, the one that we're listening to right now is this album here. And it was his first album on Fig 4, this record label. Released in 2008. So the track that you really liked was, what was it called again? Featuring Nomad, Home Again, this one right here.
Begrimed, blinded by the light that's guiding, providing the black shine moment.
Yeah, sick shit. This whole label, man, like, spend some time on there. Pretty much all these, you know, everyone in the roster's got cool style. It's really cool, like, just underground folk, hip-hop, kind of stuff. Goods, the goods.
But truth bearers, similar to hearing heat rocks as these diffracted pixel cell gravitational lensing, bending, condensing, each spot unveiled. Visibility, hindsight, insight, Einstein 2020, my mind bright, and open up because this time's right. Visibility, hindsight, insight, Einstein 2020, my mind bright, and open up because this time's right. Visibility, hindsight, insight, Einstein 2020, my mind bright, and open up because this time's right. Visibility, hindsight, insight, Einstein 2020, my mind bright, and open up because this time's right. What you call me? What you call me? What you call me? What you call me?
Reuse your sprites. Save memory.
What you call me? What you call me? What you call me?
The fucking man. He's so cool. He's so cool. Alrighty. What else did I have to do? This. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take a break after this. Well, a break when I mean I think I'll be done for the night, done for the week possibly. But yeah, Interdimensional Turtle is 100% next. I wanna get him properly colored and stuff. He's gonna look awesome, you know, all cartoony like this too, I think. Yeah, he looks gangster. It's gonna be so cool having these guys in the game. I can't even explain. It's gonna be so fun. Totally, man. Oh, totally. He's probably like, yeah, I love that. I love that game. I love that style. Let's see how close it is. Hopefully it's not too much of a ripoff, but yeah, I love Cut the Rope. Nom nom. Hopefully I'm not completely ripping him off. No, he's good. Yeah, he's kind of like a little goofy dragon guy. Yeah, I just love that. I just love that style. Yeah, they could be bros. He's like his grumpy older brother. And this is like the innocent, cute little brother. And this guy he's like, fuck your candy. Awesome. Yeah, and a huge inspiration was Locoroko. I mean, this is what I'm going for. Super cool stuff. And what's that new PlayStation 4 game? What is it? Such awesome art. They just did a Ho-Ho-Come. They just did a little feature thing on it. It's just the dopest art. Absolutely love the style. Screw this guy though. just mean I don't want to look at him. I want to look at the art. Okay, this video's not giving me what I need. Look at this, beautiful. Same thing. How could I not be inspired by this stuff? It's just so awesome. All right, guys. Knack, yeah, that's a really cool style too. That's kind of like the whole, yeah, that's just gangster. That's the whole kind of gives me the feel of like what? It's kind of like it gives me a feel of like Little Big Planet for teenagers. Like if Little Big Planet is for little kids, Knack is for 17 to 23-year-olds. Such an awesome guy. Cool style. Well, my friends, I think I'm out. I'm out of here. I made some Dragon. I played some Cosmochoria. I chatted with I'm just reading the comments. And it's just funny. Have not yet gotten my kit. Treatment is good. They have a good team. They have a good team of guys and girls. I haven't met any girls, so I'm just saying that to be fair. But I've been talking to a couple guys, and they're really supportive and insightful and knowledgeable, and I've had all my questions answered, and I'm really confident that if I get stuck, I'll have some help. So I'm not too worried, and pretty pleased with how everything has been going. But yeah, I'm not gonna get the dev kit until probably midsummer, just because I want to make sure that I've got a bunch of stuff worked out for the game and it's all figured out, so that once I load it up on the Wii U, it'll blow my mind. It'll blow all our minds. Do you guys have are you guys choosing Wii U keys or Steam keys? That's what I go for now too, if it was me. But yeah, I don't even own a Wii U at this point because I just haven't had time to actually play games too much. And when I do have time, I already got a PS3 and a Vita and a Wii and all that kind of stuff. So, but Steam is on my like indie game collection for sure. Just having everything in that one spot is really helpful. I'm about to get going on this. This is the turtle. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take off for the night. I've been in here all day working on stuff, so I'm gonna take a break and I'll pick things up again. Probably I may stream again during the week, but for sure next Friday I'll make sure every Friday I'm doing something. So yeah, I want to give you guys a huge thanks and hug for hanging out with me, and I'm really sorry I got a jet, but I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. Weekends is family time. It's I work a lot during the week, so I try to not be in here very often on the weekends. But during the week, I mean Mondays, Wednesdays, but definitely Fridays, I'll be back. And we can chat, and we'll keep in touch. If you guys want to add me on Skype, if you have questions for me, it's just Nate Schmold, all one word on Skype. Or if you want to hit me up on Twitter, it's at MantraKid on Twitter. Facebook.com Cosmochoria. Or send me an email. Any questions you have, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them and make sure you guys are comfortable. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm gonna bounce. Have a stellar weekend. I appreciate all the support. I can't say that enough. And yeah, thanks for chilling. Later, pals. See ya.
Yells that he's gonna get to the pearly gates first, and the rabbi claims that his people were the chosen race. Then the minister cracks a joke about a seven-headed something, while the pagan stands and yells about trees, but eventually all of them pray to God.